We see that in another development, in a move that many are already calling an electoral charade, the regime in Yaoundé, La République, has launched yet another refinery project, and this time in Kribi, raising questions not only about its timing, but about the deeper strategy behind it. On July 17, 2025, Cameroon's National Hydrocarbons Corporation, SNH, Sonara, through its subsidiary Tradex and the Ariana RCG Consortium, officially commenced the Sea Star Refinery project, a 30,000 barrels per day modular refinery to be constructed on 250 hectares in Lolabe Kribi in La République. The project, valued at 115 billion francs CFAs, is slated for completion in 18 months, conveniently aligned with the next presidential elections in La République du Cameroon. But then for the people of Ambazonia, this is more than just a political stunt. It is the continuation of a long-standing colonial ploy, extracting from Ambazonia, enriching La République, and silencing the very people who bleed for the nation's economy to function. Few symbols illustrate this injustice more clearly than the story of Sonara, the once proud national refinery situated in Libe, Fako County. Established in the 1970s and built on Ambazonian soil, Sonara operated for decades, using crude extracted primarily from Indian County, one of the richest oil basins in West Africa. Yet, despite being the engine room of Cameroon's oil refining capacity, Sonara never truly served the interests of Ambazonians. It stood tall and productive, but then the benefits of its existence flowed away from its host communities and into the hands of French Cameroon elites. That illusion of inclusion came crashing down in 2019 when a devastating fire severely damaged the refinery. Years later, Sonara remains in ruins, abandoned by the same state that once paraded it as a national pride. No concrete steps have been taken to revive or reconstruct it. Instead, the government has shifted its refining ambitions to Kribi, a city not in Ambazonia, but in French Cameroon, specifically in the south of French Cameroon. Kribi's selection is no coincidence. We see that its location within La République's territory marks a strategic redirection of economic infrastructure away from Ambazonian land, with the Kribi deep-sea port already developed and operational. The city is fast becoming the new petro-industrial hub of the Republic, ironically powered by oil sourced from Ambazonia. This shift is not about technical convenience or strategic growth. It seems to be more about consolidating economic power in La République while continuing to plunder Ambazonian resources under the guise of national unity. The injustice deepens when one considers the daily reality faced by Ambazonians. Despite being the source of the very oil that fuels the Cameroons, they continue to pay the highest prices for refined products such as fuel and cooking gas. Crude is drawn from their own land, transported out, refined elsewhere, and sold back to them at premium rates, while citizens in La République enjoy subsidized access to the same refined fuels. It is a cruel irony that those who feed the economy are made to starve by it. This dynamic lays bare the real reason behind La République's refusal to grant Ambazonia its independence. We see greed in display. It is not about unity or shared destiny. It is about maintaining control over oil wells, timber, cocoa, maritime routes, and fertile lands. The Kribi Refinery project is merely the latest chapter in that calculated exploitation, and the timing could not be more transparent. With elections on the horizon, the Yaoundé regime is dusting off the same old promises, cutting ribbons and staging grand ceremonies to give the impression of progress. But for Ambazonians, it is a performance that they have seen one too many times before. Sonara, now a relic of broken promises, stands as a grim reminder of how easily the regime discards what it no longer needs. This new refinery is not a rebirth, it is a replacement. Sonara's ruins are not being restored because the regime has no intention of investing again in Ambazonian soil. That decision has been made. The resource will continue to come from Ambazonia, but the money, infrastructure, and development will now live in La République. It is a silent war, fought not with bullets, but with contracts and pipelines. Well, until Ambazonia is free, every refinery built in French Cameroon is a refinery stolen from its rightful place. Sonara is not just a facility in disrepair. It's not just a facility in disrepair, but a symbol of what was taken, what was lost, and what must be reclaimed. The Sea Star Refinery in Kribi does not represent a national dream. It represents a colonial scheme designed to secure power, control revenue, and sideline a people whose only crime is to sit on wealth they never are allowed to own. Ambazonians are not fooled. The charade may change faces, but the script remains the same, and so does the demand to refine Ambazonian oil on their own, for their own people. And until then, the pipeline that crisscrosses Ambazonian land are not arteries of national development. They are straws draining the life out of a nation that is fighting to be free.